Welcome back, everyone, to Lore of the Shadow, where I am here in the House of Celeborn with Galadriel to find out what's to be done next.
It is nearly time for you to depart again.
Within the woods of Lothlórien, guests of Lord Celeborn can recover from their hurts and toils of a long road. It is my hope that this reprieve was of use to you, Pinelore. I heard you took advantage of some new training. Yeah, we'll see how well that went. In these dark days, no time of rest is as long as we might wish it to be. It is nearly time for you to depart again. With one motion of a lovely arm, Galadriel directs your gaze to the flets that cling to the bole of the tree. Nona has made a full recovery as she could, and a greater one than I expected of her. She's waiting for you at the ladder down from the flets. I have made it known that it is my will that she be permitted free movement within the hedges of Galadriel. Show her the city of Galadriel, Pinelore. We will speak of my garden when she is satisfied with the exploration of what the city has to offer. All right, so meet Nona at the stairs. Here she is.
They tell me I was close to death. I remember very little of it.
I remember a creeping shadow and a chill cold as ice, and the men of the town would not heal me unless I gave them my sword. But you spoke against it, and so did that man. What was his name? Horn? I should thank him for his kindness, even though he is one of the horse folk, and we should not trust him too far. The lady of the wood elves told me that I could see her city before we departed, if I were well enough. I tell you that I am. This place is a marvel, though my own people would not wish to live here. Bring me some of the notable locations of the city, Pinelore. We have some time before we must depart, do we not? All right. I suppose I could go through the area. So let's go. Ah, here she is, overlooking the fountain.
This is a place of quiet contemplation.
This is Caras, a white fountain of Caras. It is a place of quiet contemplation, where elves of Lothlórien are free to enjoy the sound of the water in the pool and to feel the soft breezes on the skin. Rian looks at Nona dismissively, and you can tell that, despite Galadriel's words, not every elf is pleased to have the Dunlending girl within the borders of Lothlórien. Others can admire the fountain as well, of course. She finishes with a sniff. Ah, boy. What does she think about this?
My people would not build such a thing. What would be the point?
I cannot picture this fountain in Hlanuk. My people would not build such a thing. What's the point, you say? Well, to enjoy and to contemplate. What other point will there be? I don't think she understands. And of course, what is a trip to here without being on top of one of the many flets here?
We see so few visitors to Caras, Galadhon.
I am sorry. We see so few visitors to Caras, Galadhon that our hospitality is perhaps not what it should be. It must seem very confusing place, with flets built on multiple levels of the great Melian, with winding stairs and bridges crossing the breezy gaps. You catch Nona's brief scowl at the airy tone of the elf, but Anglamel does not. I have heard it said that Galadhon is as maze-like as the cities of the dwarves, but If this slander is true, at least our maze is above the ground, lit by the glow of the sun and the cool glimmer of the stars. I would forgive any amount of confusion for those dual boons. Nona looks into the void between the flets and says, "Nothing." Really nothing?
It is a wonder, I will grant you that.
When did the elves find the time to construct such a place? It's a wonder, I'll grant that, but I prefer my homes of my people. Well, I must admit that I do prefer a home that is a little bit more solidly on or in the ground, shall we say. As for find the time, well, believe me, if the elves have anything, it's time. And here we are at the main hub. I think this is the main hub. Yeah, because there is the vault and all those things. Hello?
The Malon trees of Lothlórien are the mightiest to be found anywhere.
Well, seeing that you're building houses on them, they're definitely mighty trees, that's for sure. The Malon trees of Lothlórien are the mightiest to be found anywhere in the waning years of Middle-earth. It was not once so, but the passage of time and the spreading of darkness has caused much that was once great to wither and diminish. So it would be with the elves were we to stay. Already we have stayed too long. Lithos looks sideways at Nona, but she seems not to notice. It will soon be the time of men, and who can say how that race will deal with the challenges that lie ahead? These Melern support the Talain Galadriel, the flets on which the work of our city is done. Without them, little would be accomplished. I hope that the same will not be said of the elves when we have departed. All right. Well, what do you say? No one observes the mighty Malorn trees, but says nothing. Nothing?
Galadriel wanted to speak with you in her garden?
For an elf, Galadriel seems to have a great deal of inner strength. She reminds me of a matriarch of the Algraig. Well, let's go and speak with Galadriel. Well, I hope I don't have to go through another vision in the mirror. Hello there.
I hope you enjoyed your respite.
It brings me sadness to tell you that your respite must be ended. Well, that's inevitable. I spoke to you once of the danger that awaited our mutual friends on the road. Their circumstances are hidden to me, but I have seen enough through my mirror to worry. Those few of the wise who know of their errand have known a simple truth since they departed. As they move further south, they move closer to a point of decision that they can delay, but not avoid. They cannot leave the great river without making this decision. Do they continue south and east to Mordor, or do they pass through the cities of men and thereby take a longer road to the fire? The ring-bearer must go to Mordor, but who will choose to go with him? I fear for the company, Pinelor. Peer into my mirror and see if the visions for you are as troubling as they are for Galadriel. Oh, well, I was afraid of this. But I suppose we must know what's to come.
We always knew that the Company of the Ring would face the difficult decision of what road to take. We simply did not know how soon.
So the vision is of the company. At the point of decision, perhaps? Well, what do we do, Strider? Well, Frodo, the choice is upon us at last. In Rivendell, you were appointed the bearer of the great burden, and this company has escorted you through the wilderness, beneath the mountains, and along the great river. All of us have done so in friendship, and with an understanding of this errand's great need. But now the path splits. Boromir has said from the beginning that his road leads to Minas Tirith and the war against the shadow that must surely be coming. But that way is not the way to the fire, and it is to the fire that your burden must be carried. What is the fate of this company? Do we go to Boromir's city, to Minas Tirith, or do we cross the river and make for the land of the shadow? What should we do? Does no one wish to speak? Well, Frodo, you are the bearer, and you must choose your own way. What is your decision? You need time to decide? I understand. It's not an easy decision. None of these have been easy decisions. If only Gandalf were here. I have tried to play this part as best I can, but I am not he, and the ways of wisdom are shut to me. I'm sorry. I cannot help you with this decision. But it is yours to make, and I will do what not want to sway your mind one way or the other. So let's have a little time to walk. You should have an hour, Frodo, and we will leave you alone to decide. I was just thinking, did this one have a short version of the story? Well, this is a momentous occasion, I presume, so I presume looking at the short version of this won't work all that well. Thoughts of Elrond rise unbidden in your mind. The ring you bear is the one, the ruling ring sought by Sauron above all else. The evil he could work with it would be incurable. It must be destroyed. There are those who would use the ring and not destroy it. The temptation to use the ring even for good is overwhelming. That is its power and its danger. The road to the fire is dangerous, but it is the only choice that we can risk. Well, that is definitely what Elrond will say. So let's go further west as we think about this matter. What can we do? Well, thoughts of Galadriel rise unbidden to my mind. Some rings there are that Sauron never touched, and they were not used for evil. They were used for growth and prosperity, and much beauty was wrought with them. The 3 Elven rings belong to this worthwhile group. You remember the look of sadness on Galadriel's beautiful face when she spoke to you of this in Lothlórien. If you fail in your quest, Frodo Baggins, the workings of the 3 will be laid bare before Sauron, and he will control all. But if you should succeed, even then there will be little happiness for the elves. We will diminish, and all that was wrought with the 3 shall fade. No choice is free from sadness for my people, Frodo. But Galadriel of Lorien would have happened what should happen. Even though it should mean that all her good works in Middle-earth will disappear and are forgotten. Goodbye, Frodo. And now, up this way. Yeah, climb the stairs to the southeast, so that I may be alone in my thoughts, as I think about what Elrond said, and what Galadriel said. I wonder if any more thoughts will come to my mind. And whose thoughts will they be? Up the stairs? Ah, of course, Gandalf. Thoughts of Gandalf. If you know the inner strength of hobbits as I do, Frodo Baggins, many, even among the wise, would think this task too much for you. But I have seen the bravery of a Baggins when put to the test, and I know that you will do what you must. The memory of Gandalf's warm smile fills you with deep regret. Yes, there is a sadness on any difficult road. You must prepare for more if you are to face what must lie ahead. Your friends are dear to you, but you must be prepared for this truth, Frodo Baggins. Some of them may not return from this quest. Some may not return. If that is why you delay, then the quest is already lost. You must decide, Frodo. That wasn't much. How about Bilbo? What would Bilbo say? Oh, Frodo, my lad, you have gotten ourselves into trouble and bother. Your memory of the old hobbit makes you smile in spite of yourself, and you realize how badly you missed him. Something has to be done, Frodo. All these important people, with their endless meetings and councils weighing important matters, when all it needs is the application of some good old hobbit sense. You at least need to go to Mordor, Frodo. As long as you have the ring, it is your burden to bear, as it was mine. Merry, Pippin, and Sam, they would be fine. The others would watch them. If you bear the ring away, as it is your task to do, our friends will be less danger. It will not be easy, Frodo, my boy, but it would be for the best. As long as our friends accompany you, their lives are in danger. You must want that. You don't want them to be in danger. The best go alone to Mordor. Aragorn and Boromir are strong men, and they will take care of our friends. Gimli and Legolas will watch out for them as well. Sam will not understand, of course, but in time he may forgive you. What did Elrond say in Rivendell? That it was perilous to study the arts of the enemy as Saruman did? That must be because they can corrupt even the purest of hearts, no matter its intention at the outset. Hold on. I hear something. What is it? Oh, Boromir. Thoughts of Boromir? No, looks like... I was going to say the real Boromir, but seeing that this is a vision in the mirror of what Frodo was going through, I suppose it's not real Boromir from that point of view. I know you said that you wanted to be alone, Frodo, but you are simply too important to go wandering alone. If Aragorn is correct in his guess, it means that the orcs have already crossed the river. They could be in the woods even now. To go wandering... Actually, but that was Bilbo's advice, wasn't it? To go wandering alone? Except towards Mordor, where there'd be even more orcs. May I stay and speak now that I have found you? Uh-oh. Back at the camp, everything is endless arguments about where to go. But you and I could decide much more easily. With we need not have the tumult of many voices. Not that I don't know his advice. Yes, you hear the wisdom in it, right? I'm glad of it, Frodo. I had feared that you would not wish to speak to me, but it lightens my heart to know that you respect the wisdom of Gondor. For Gondor is where the greatest strength of men can be found, and is where the Dark Lord's gaze is most drawn, which is why I should go nowhere near it. Oh, well. If you were to come to Minas Tirith with me, we could protect Gondor. What do you say, Frodo? No? Why do you resist the course of wisdom? These elves and wizards speak only of hiding and sneaking, and they would have us destroy the very thing that we need to defeat Sauron. Why do you listen to them and not to me? It is my people who will pay the price for the failure of this foolhardy mission. My people will pay, not yours, hiding away in some hidden dell where the enemy will never find them, if he even thinks to look. He has already thought to look, but that's another matter. But he looks at Gondor, yes he does, and he will kill its people, and they will look to me and ask why I was not able to protect them, and I will say that I had this chance, and I let it slip away. I know it is a heavy burden for you, Frodo. You are so small and weak. What if the king has come to a man? A ring, yes. Perhaps you could lend me the ring. Let me use it to save my people, and then I'll give it back. Right. How can you say that? You have done the very thing we need to defeat the Dark Lord, but you refuse to use it. You run knowingly into your death, and you bring with it the only hope that we ever had of surviving this war. The ring should be mine. Give it to me. Give it to me, you foolish halfling. You have no right to it. If you will not give it to me, I will take it for you. I will take it by force. Uh-oh. Oops. Ooh. All right. Well, where'd you go, cursed halfling? Escape from Boromir. All right, run up the stairs. Run away, run away, run away. All right, let's get as far from here as possible. Oh, suddenly I have thoughts of Bilbo again. Run, Frodo, up the steps. Okay, up the steps. Everything here is eerie. Boromir may not be able to see you, Frodo, but other things can. Alright. This things just don't stay properly in focus, it looks like. Oh, wavy. Frodo, you do not know your danger. Up and away. You have stumbled blindly to the summit of Amon Hen. Your heart is gripped with a sudden feeling of terror. Uh-oh. You soul of malevolence. Sauron senses the ring.
Take it off, fool! Take it off! Take off the ring!
You manage to remove the ring. Now you know what you must do. I must speak to Gandalf. That's what I must do. Or thoughts of Gandalf. The terror of your recent experience is still with you, but you conjure the kindly face of Gandalf from your memories to try and fight back the dread. You could almost hear his voice, as clearly as when he spoke to you thusly in the library of Rivendell. There are a great many dangers facing Middle-earth, Frodo, and your ring is responsible, even indirectly, for all of them. The orcs of the Misty Mountains stir, and Lórien is threatened with fire. The horsemen of Rohan fight back the wolves of Isengard. the corsairs put to sea from Harad, and endless armies march from the east. The mountains of fire is aflame, and the Dark Lord's forces is in motion. You see, there are men who stand against him, but, like Boromir, son of Steward of Gondor, and your companion, he and the men like him will fight for as long as they are able. But when all is finished, it seems to me that they will simply be men. And for you, how long can men stand against such evil? No, Frodo. I fear that when all is reckoned, it will come down to one hobbit after all, and the strength he himself can bring to bear. Perhaps that is always the way that it was meant to be. Always the way it was meant to be. That was quite a vision.
This is one possibility among many. It is a troubling one, to be certain.
The mirror shows many things, Pine Lore, and not all of them come to pass. But this is one possibility among many. They may have need of your help. I want you to travel south along the river Anduin, and to see what has befallen our mutual friends. None of the visions that I have seen in the waters give me any hope that they have avoided the dangers into which they walk. If you can aid them in even the smallest way, it may be enough. Nona should go with you, if she still desires to do so. I have known her for just a short time, but I do not think that she wishes for anything but to adventure with you. Let her be an aid to you on this dangerous road. All right? Let her be an aid. So, what exactly is our road? We have to learn that in the next episode of Lore of the Shadow.